Today I was doing some bed fishing here on Lake Austin, and the spawn has been delayed a lot this year. It's the end of March, and they're just now beginning to come up from the deeper waters to spawn. And so I want to take a minute to show you guys my two favorite baits to use on beds. My first one is a white jig. Now, I have no clue why bass like this, or really why bass hate this, but a white jig seems to be killer on some fish on beds. Now, it has several advantages. One is that it has a skirt, so you can wiggle it around, and really just gets their attention and makes them angry. And second, if the bed is not in clear water, but you can still see the fish, you can really see your jig, and you can see when the bass takes it up. So that's one of my baits. And the other is my all-time favorite. It is a Zoom Super Fluke, any watermelon variation, with a laser trocar 4-aught wide gap hook, a 1/8 ounce tungsten weight, and a bead. And bass hate this thing. They just gobble it up whenever you put it on their bed. Some fish, I can catch these things in one cast because of this bait. Now, I think this bait represents a sunfish very well, because today I caught a bedfish, and the female was chasing off a lot of sunfish, and the male was staying on the bed to guard the eggs. And this thing, you just clank it around, like that on the bed, and they think it's a sunfish, so they eat this thing up. Sometimes the bass won't have a big enough mouth to get around it, so I cut off the tail, but right here. But usually if you have a bass that small, you don't want to catch it anyways, because it won't help you out in a tournament. But those are my two favorite baits, the white jig and the Zoom Super Fluke. Now, I pair both of these on 15-pound fluorocarbon. Today I was fishing a 7 or 8 pounder on a bed, and I was using 12-pound fluorocarbon, and it may have had a fray in the line, and I lost a big one. So I suggest that you use thick line and medium heavy to heavy rods. So check out this footage from under the water. So here's a classic situation of a bass on a bed. As you can see here, it's the edge of the base of a cypress tree, and it's a little round circle right near the base of the roots in the middle. Now here's the bass, about a 2.5-pound male. The female is about 4 pounds, but she was uncatchable as she was pretty spooky. But as you can see in a second here, the male is very, very protective of his bed. And I couldn't tell if the female was pre-spawn or post-spawn, but this male is agitated for sure. That white jig really I put it on his bed, and he got angry. So what I was doing here was just throwing it on the bed and pulling it off really quick so that I could just get some cool camera footage. And I do that usually to aggravate the bass to start. I usually drag it over the fish's head, but here he was already pretty agitated, so no need to drag it over his head. So soon I pitch it in here and enjoy the footage. Swing and a miss. Now usually when you find a fish on a bed, you have to find the sweet spot to be able to catch the fish. The sweet spot is a small spot on the bed that usually the male hates when the bait is on. It's just a small specific spot that he hates when a bait is on it. And for this bass here, underneath the cypress tree, his whole bed was a sweet spot. As you can see there, he hates it on the roots, he hates it in the middle, he hates it everywhere. So when you find a fish like this, you know that he's catchable. Whoa, let's see that again in slow motion. This bass takes my bait without the hook in its mouth. Look at that. Got him. What's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed that last video on bed fishing. I just love seeing bass and hail baits on their beds. Just so much fun. Now, if you'd like to see my 2013 year in review video, click right here in this corner. And if you'd like to see my Facebook page, click over here. And if you want to check out my Instagram and my Twitter and the baits that I used to catch in this video, they'll be in the description. So, see you guys next time when I catch some more fish on beds. It'll be a lot of fun.